Good morning, dear students. We are moving on to the next topic of just-in-time approach, that is steps in implementing just-in-time. So what we have to plan, what we have to do while implementing or establishing a new approach, that is just-in-time into a form. So we have to make some modifications in the existing system or existing production process. Existing policies of the company have to be changed in order to implement JIT. The first step is draw up a plan. That means we have to teach each and everyone in the organization about this method, and somebody inside the organization, somebody within the organization needs to own this process. That is, the implementation of JIT have to be the responsibility of somebody within the organization, not an external party can do this. Okay, so this should not just be to ensure that the business follows an implementation route, but also to ensure that business optimize itself. Because they are not depending outsiders. They know, the sponsors or those who are doing JIT, performing JIT, know how to implement it, how to perform it. They know it very well. The technical aspects as well as the performance aspects are known to the sponsors or those who are within the organization. Okay, so they have to prepare a detailed plan. They themselves, because they themselves have to implement in their organization, so for them they have to prepare a detailed plan. Next is communicate just-in-time plans to workforce. Okay, so the person in the top may know how it works, but if the person who at the front edge is not known to this topic or this new system, it won't work. So we have to inform the workforce, the employees who are directly coming to work in with this JIT plan. They should be communicated. Okay, from the beginning itself, and they must be given training, because the raw materials will arrive on time only, and they have to collect it, they have to feed it into the machinery, and from one machinery to, it will be automatically transferred to other machinery, and for the group of cluster of machineries will use this work in progress or output from the other machines. This have to be taught or trained to the employees. Okay, and here there may be several problems the employees need to face in between this JIT process. Here in JIT there may not be any buffer stock. Buffer stock means if there is no supply from the supplier of raw materials, you can use this buffer stock. Here in JIT there may be no buffer stocks. So a requirement to place a fair degree of trust in the supply chain. So while applying this JIT, they are blindly believing this suppliers. So that trust have to be given to the employees. Suppliers will supply the materials on time. Next step is data gathering and validate inventory levels. Gathering accurate data, that is how much inventory we required. It's a crucial task, because we need only the required amount of raw materials. So if we are ordering for more, then that extra raw materials will be the wastage. So there is no space to stock it, or there is no provision to maintain it. So it will be a wastage for them. So we have to correct the accurate data before ordering for the products. Whether we need this much 100 kg of this material or 1000 kg of this material, whether we have to depend upon a believable system in order to gather the raw material requirement daily. Next is establish a production plan. Some of the production plan is established already, and we have to optimize it. Okay, we have to optimize the production size, how much units will be produced in 1 hour, and the gap between first lot production and second lot production, and what will be the time taken by the suppliers of raw materials to deliver the products or materials, raw materials to the company, and what time it will take to move the work in progress from one mission to another. All these things have to be planned. Next is communications with the supply chain. It's a key element that we have to maintain a relationship with the supply chain. That's the supplier of the raw materials. They must have the ability to deliver schedule products according to our requirements. So there must be a process of establishing, reviewing and resolving issues that come up with the supply chain management. The firm also want to consider the suppliers can forecast their visibility, and there may be demand variability. എല്ലാ സമയവും നമുക്ക് എല്ലാ ദിവസവും ഒരേ കിലോസ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരേ നമ്പർ ഓഫ് മെറ്റീരിയൽസ് ആയിരിക്കില്ല വേണ്ടി വരിക. സോ നമ്മൾ സപ്ലയറുമായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ലിങ്ക് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ചില സമയത്ത് നമുക്ക് ചില ദിവസം കുറവ് റോ മെറ്റീരിയൽ ആയിരിക്കും വേണ്ടത്. അപ്പൊ സപ്ലയർ പറയുന്നത് ഞാൻ ഓൾറെഡി നിങ്ങൾ പറഞ്ഞ 1000 കിലോ റെഡിയാക്കി വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ശരിയാവില്ല. അപ്പോൾ ജസ്റ്റ് ഇൻ ടൈമിന്റെ ഒരു ആ മെത്തേഡിന്റെ ഗുണം തന്നെ ഇല്ലാതാവും. അപ്പോൾ അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം, നമ്മൾ ചില ദിവസങ്ങളിൽ നമ്മൾ കുറച്ച് പറയും, ചില സമയത്ത് നമ്മൾ കൂട്ടി പറയും. അപ്പൊ അതിനനുസരിച്ച് സപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യാൻ കഴിവുള്ള ഒരാളായിരിക്കണം ഈ സപ്ലൈ ചെയിൻ സപ്ലയർ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഇസ് എസ്റ്റാബ്ലിഷ് എ മെറ്റീരിയൽ സിഗ്നലിംഗ് പ്രോസസ്. ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് കാൻബാൻ സിസ്റ്റം യൂസ് ചെയ്യാനാണ് പറയുന്നത് ആസ് എ സിഗ്നൽ ഫോർ മെറ്റീരിയൽ റിപ്ലഷ്മെന്റ്. So here Kanban system means act as a signboard. This JIT need to be act as a signboard when we need material, when we need more material, when we need less material. That have to be indicated by this Kanban system or a JIT system. Next is document process and train staff. We have to plan JIT in advance, as well as it should be known to all the participants who are directly or indirectly involved in this JIT process. And the firm should not overlook the requirement to train staff. They have to arrange training programs regularly in order to make the staff efficient to do with JIT. And they have to monitor the performance after 1 week or 1 day or 2-3 days. They have to assess the performance, how it is working, and they have to give feedback to the workers if there is any weak point that have to be informed to the workers, etc. have to be done. Okay, next we are moving on to the methodology of implementation of JIT. What all are the methods that we have to adopt in order to implement this JIT? That is, first one is production layout. It aims a continuous flow of manufacturing. That means once the raw material is fed at one end, it will automatically pass through the machines, and from the final machine we will get the finished product. So it is necessary to rearrange the layout or arrangement of the production department according to this requirement, because nobody can interfere in between the production process. So machines will automatically transfer from material will be automatically transferred from one machine to another. Okay, so they have to achieve this target by working on it, how to arrange the machineries without touching this raw materials or work in programs. The manual involvement have to be reduced. Next is reducing setup time. Here also JIT reduce the inventories. At the same time, it also reduce the production time by moving the material from one machine to another automatically. So this will increase the flexibility. It will be reducing the setup time. That is, setup time means arranging machinery time. There will not be any arranging machinery time in JIT because machinery is already arranged, that is set up. So further time is not required to move the machineries from one place to another in order to make sufficient production process smoothly. Okay, next is reducing processing time. Okay, so JIT also try to reduce the number of production runs. Okay, that is high quality of maintenance of machines and equipments are given. So in between breakdown of machines, etc. can be avoided. This will also help to reduce the wastage of time because of the breakage of machinery, production is stopped. Such kind of issues won't happen. This will in turn improve the productivity and also shorten the production cycle time. If we have to maintain the machineries in between because of the damage caused to the machinery, then it will take time, and this will extend the production cycle time. This will not happen in case of what this JIT. Next is inventory management. In JIT, they are trying to reduce the inventory, minimize the inventory, so thereby we can reduce the working capital also. They are trying to adopt it by producing in small batches. They must ensure the easy availability of raw materials, and reliable suppliers have to be appointed. Without any risk of out of stock raw material, they can run, because what they have to do, they have to ensure the easy availability of raw materials as well as the reliability of the suppliers. If both these can be ensured, they can smoothly follow this JIT approach. Next is eliminating non-value added activities. In JIT, all those activities which is not adding any value to the products have to be reduced. For example, if you are following the traditional production system, they have to maintain a warehouse. The materials have to be kept in the warehouse. Then the storage cost, insurance of the raw materials, all of this cost have to be borne by the company. If we are following JIT, all this kind of cost can be avoided directly. All the above set cost is having no added value to the final product. So this cost can be avoided because we will get the raw material supply immediately at our requirement, right? And next methodology is supply chain management. It is very essential to make the supply chain efficient. Okay, that is when they have to supply, when the supplier have to supply, where they have to supply, in what quantity, in what form they have to supply it, the raw material to our company. Okay, so if you are ensuring this four, that is form of raw material, time, place and quantity of raw material, then this approach will flow smoothly, and frequent delivery of materials and other parts of from suppliers is also possible. This can reduce the time lag or lead between one mission to another, or feeding of machinery to the first machinery, feeding of raw material to the first machinery itself. Okay, and another thing is we can select a reliable customer which is situating close to our company, and this also we can make a long-term commitment with that supplier. We need our raw material, this much quantity, that may be varied, but for 1 year, for 2 years, then they will be also happy because they are getting a continuous contract with you. Next is flexible production schedules. JIT ensures flexible production system because it is reducing all the non-value added items or expenses, and it also facilitate the flexible production system by reducing the setup time. Machine setup time can be reduced. Idle workforce or capacity can be utilized, because whenever the machinery is ready and the raw materials are ready, they can start production. A single minute, there is no need to waste a single minute. So this will bring a flexibility in the workforce to work according to the requirement of JIT. Next is process capability study. This study collects and analyzes data obtained by studying a process system. That is, it's a continuous process. JIT is following a continuous process. When it starts with the feeding of raw materials and finished with the packed output from the final machine. So this is the process. It's a continuous process that have to be studied, and what all are the in between process that we have to explain in detail to the employees as well. Next is TQM, that is total quality management or total quality control. That is, there is no end to the quest for excellence, because JIT adopts this TQM approach in order to achieve their maximum quality standards. It tries to ensure the availability of defect-free spare parts. In all the stages of production, they need a defect-free product. So for that, at the time of entering raw materials to the machines, before that we have to check the quality, etc. So these are the methodology of implementation